Hi, and welcome again to the SparkFun Inventors Kit for MicroPython. I'm Malcolm, and today I'm going to be helping you choose which development environment is right for you, so you can get code up and running on your kit. First things first, what even is a development environment? Think for a moment of how you type up a simple text document on your computer. You probably open up Word, Google Docs, or a similar application, and they provide you with a nice interface where you can write and edit your document. They underline misspellings for you, provide you with toolbars for common word processing tasks, and provide suggested auto-completions. Development environments are similar applications, but for writing code. They give you a way to edit your code with some niceties, like syntax highlighting that makes your code easier to read. They also often provide an easy way to actually run your code, like run and stop buttons. For the SIK, we offer two different development environments, so you can choose the one that best suits your needs. Our recommended development environment is to write your code online in Jupyter Notebooks. These notebooks are the simple option that allow you to write and run code right from your internet browser without having to install any additional software. Another benefit of Jupyter Notebooks is that the SIK guide is built into them, so you can run code directly from where you are following along with the guide and won't have to keep switching back and forth between them. The second, not so recommended option for if you will be doing most of your code development offline or just want to try out a different tool, is called Thonny. To use Thonny, you will have to install it and do some setup for it to work with MicroPython. You also will have to follow along with the guide separately as you code. As I mentioned, our recommendation is for all users to use Jupyter Notebooks, but use the tool that feels right for you. How do you use these tools? Let's get into it. To run code from a Jupyter Notebook, all that you have to do is open the link in the description below using a Chromium-based browser like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. From there, you can navigate to the notebook for each circuit by selecting it from the File Explorer on the left. Jupyter Notebooks are composed of instructional cells and code cells. The instructional cells provide guidance, teach new topics, and give useful tips. The code cells can be run directly from within the notebooks to run code on your board and drive your circuits. To connect to your board, first make sure that it is connected to your computer with a USB-C cable. Next, select one of the circuits and click on the SparkFun logo card in the bottom right. Then, select Connect Device from the RedBoard Device Manager. From the pop-up list of devices, select the correct one for your IoT RedBoard RP2350 that came with your kit. It's probably whichever device has the word board in the name. Not sure which device to choose? Unplug your board and then try to connect again. Take note of which device has disappeared from the list of options. Then plug your board back in and connect to the device you just discovered. Your device is now connected. Jupyter Notebooks are especially nice because you can run code cells one at a time to individually test small blocks of code. To run a code cell, select it and then either click the Run this cell and advance button at the top or use hotkeys. On Windows, the hotkey to run is to select a code cell and then press Ctrl and Enter at the same time. On Mac, it is the same process, except you press Command and Enter at the same time instead. If you don't want to run code cells one at a time and instead want to cut to the chase and run the entire program for a circuit at once, this can be done with the Restart the Kernel and Run All Cells button, which will run every cell in a notebook in order. It looks like two triangles next to each other. And that's about it for running code in a Jupyter Notebook. If you took our recommended path and are going to run all of your code for the SIK with a Jupyter Notebook, you can stop the video now and dive into your first circuit. Otherwise, if you're wanting to learn how to install Thonny and work through the SIK in that environment, stick around and we'll dive into that next. Thonny is constantly making updates to their application, so don't get worried if the options presented to you during installation aren't exactly the same as I show here. The general steps will probably be very similar. To install Thonny, navigate to thonny.org and click the download button for your operating system. Then, click the recommended option from the options that appear. Next, click on the executable file that will appear in your downloads folder. Now, we can use the wizard to install Thonny. Click Next to begin. Accept the license agreement and again click Next. Then, accept the default install location and click Next. Accept the default Start menu folder, which at the time of filming this guide was called Thonny. Then select Create Desktop icon so you have an easy graphic to click when you want to open Thonny. Finally, check your choices and select Install. When the install is finished, you should get a message that the installation was successful. Like most development environments, Thonny has all kinds of customization and powerful options, but we only need a small subset of them to get up and running with the SIK, so that's what we'll focus on for now. In the bottom right-hand side of Thonny, you can find the Board Connection Manager. This is where you manage your connection to your IoT RedBoard RP2350. The File Explorer is where you can view the files on your board. Note that above the RP2040 Device File Explorer is a file explorer for your computer itself, but we'll ignore that since we'll only be working with the SIK files that are already on your board. The main window is the Code Editor, which is where you can write and read code. The Shell tab at the bottom will show the results of your code once it is run. The toolbar at the top of Thonny contains useful icons for interacting with files and our board. The most important are the green Play or Run Current Script button and the red Stop sign or Stop/Restart Backend button. The green button will run the code for the file you currently have selected in the File Explorer and open in the Code Editor. The red Stop button will stop the code and will also perform a reconnect to your board. If things are behaving strangely, it's always a good idea to start by giving the stop sign a click. To connect to your IoT RedBoard RP2350 from Thonny, first click on the Board Connection Manager. Then, select the MicroPython option for your board. You can either select the MicroPython RP2040 option or the MicroPython generic option. Both will work. The shell should then show that MicroPython version is on your board along with this symbol. And bam, you are connected and ready to run code. When you receive your kit, the SIK examples are already on your board in the SIK examples folder in the Thonny File Explorer. Once you are connected to your board, you can click the SIK examples folder and view the example code for every circuit in the SIK. Next, click on the circuit you want to run from within the File Explorer, and it will appear in the Code Editor. Finally, you can click on the Run button from the toolbar to run the example on your board. To work through an SIK circuit with Thonny, open the online guide at the same time and follow along with the guide while building your circuit until it is time to run and test your code in Thonny. And that's it. With whatever development environment you've chosen, you should be able to run the necessary code to complete every circuit in the SIK. At the end of every circuit, there is a coding challenges section where you can feel free to alter the code. Don't feel like you always have to use the code that we've provided you with. You are an inventor now, after all. As always, stay safe, be kind, and happy inventing.